Have you ever stopped to wonder if it's actually possible that the ultimate blueprint for financial success, a system trusted by literally millions of people, was penned by a known fraudster? Well, buckle up because the answer we're going to dive into today will completely change how you view the self-help industry.
Published way back in 1937, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is pretty much the evergreen classic when it comes to personal success and leadership. It is, without exaggeration, one of the best-selling management and personal development books of all time. We're not just talking about a book here. For a lot of people, it's basically a financial Bible.
Welcome to this explainer, Think and Grow Rich, the Blueprint and the Betrayal. Today, we're unpacking the legendary principles of wealth from this iconic text. And, more importantly, we're uncovering the shocking historical truth behind the man who actually wrote them. It's this wild story of incredible inspiration mixed with massive deception.
Part 1. The Ultimate Success Blueprint.
So, the entire marketing angle of this book was that it contained a literal money-making secret. And supposedly, this secret was decoded after studying over 500 self-made millionaires. The foundation of all that research? It boils down to this core concept. Thoughts are things. Hill claimed that all of humanity's creations start from thought impulses. And if you can learn to manage and direct those impulses, you essentially hold the keys to attracting the universe's riches. You aren't just thinking. You're actively magnetizing your desires.
Part 2. The 13 Principles Explained.
To actually achieve this level of wealth, Hill took all his supposed research and broke it down into 13 interlinked principles. And what's really fascinating here is the sheer variety of these steps. On one hand, you have highly actionable, grounded business skills, stuff like specialized knowledge and organized planning, but then right alongside them, you have these incredibly esoteric, almost mystical concepts like autosuggestion, the sixth sense, and even sex transmutation. It is a really wild blend of the practical and the psychological.
Let's take a look at the very first step. It all starts with desire. But to be clear, we aren't talking about a mere wish or some casual hope here. Hill states that to be truly successful, you need a burning, all-consuming obsession to achieve your goal. You have to want it as much as you need to breathe. It's about turning that desire into an unstoppable force that just crushes any obstacle in your path.
And you have to back up that burning desire with Principle 2, faith, combined with Principle 8, persistence. You must truly believe you can achieve your goal with zero doubt in your soul. Look, when things get difficult, and we all know they will, you have to keep pushing that heavy boulder up the hill. It isn't just, I think I can. It's a deep-rooted, I absolutely know I can.
Part 3. 6 Steps to Riches.
So, how do we actually take these abstract philosophies and turn them into an everyday reality? Well, the authorized action guide for the book takes those 13 principles and channels them into a highly specific 6-step plan. This is designed to help readers accumulate the exact riches they're after.
Here's exactly what you're instructed to do. First, determine the exact dollar amount you want. No vague, I want to be rich statements allowed. Second, decide exactly what value you're going to give in return, because as we know, nothing comes for free. Third, set a hard, specific date for when you'll acquire this money. And fourth, create a definite plan and put it into action immediately. Sounds super empowering, right? It sounds incredibly logical.
But here's where our explainer takes a pretty sharp documentary turn. Part 4. The Untold Fraudulent Story.
Investigative sources reveal a pretty shocking twist. The man teaching the world all these ultimate financial secrets, he never actually lived them himself. When we look at his real timeline, he was born Oliver Napoleon Hill in 1883 to a moonshiner father. His early life was really tough. After getting a typewriter in 1895, he realized the power of writing, but in 1908, facing a string of failures, he fled to Washington, D.C., dropped his first name Oliver, and just started introducing himself as Napoleon. This was the start of a lifelong journey of completely reinventing his own backstory.
You see, Hill's success principles weren't actually born from studying 500 millionaires in elite boardrooms. They were heavily inspired by the New Thought movement of the early 20th century. This was a quasi-religious trend that sold the idea that mere thoughts could literally cure illnesses or move mountains. Hill essentially just took that magical thinking and packaged it up as hard-hitting business acumen.
Part 5. The Carnegie Fiction.
Now, the absolute biggest fabrication at the center of his legacy was the supposed 1908 private meeting where the billionaire Andrew Carnegie personally revealed a mastermind alliance to him. The thing is, historical research heavily suggests this meeting never happened.
When you contrast the two men, the entire illusion just shatters. On one side, you have Andrew Carnegie, sharing experience from a documented 30-year wildly successful career. On the other side, Napoleon Hill left behind dozens of failed projects, and get this, he was even charged multiple times with embezzling charitable donations.
It's actually highly ironic when you read Hill's own words. He wrote that success comes from this formula: cause others to believe in you, because you will believe in them and in yourself. Well, he certainly mastered the art of causing others to believe in him.
But as journalists at Gizmodo and various biographers point out, his entire life was essentially a false advertisement. He built his credibility on improbable conjectures, constantly name-dropping powerful men like Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell. By anchoring himself to their respectability, he stimulated readers to believe in his authority. He literally faked it till he made it.
Part 6. The Final Verdict.
So we have this highly motivating system for achieving wealth, but it's built almost entirely on historical fiction. Does the deeply flawed character of the messenger completely invalidate the message? Well, even his harshest critics acknowledge something really important. If Hill's teachings on self-confidence, defining your goals, and persisting through failure actually motivate you, then there's undeniable value there. The psychological tools are effective, even if the origin story behind them isn't.
Which leaves us with a really fascinating final question for you to ponder today. Think about your own goals and the plans you're currently putting into place. Can you still build a successful, authentic life using a blueprint drawn by a con artist? Let that sink in. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to always look closely at the architects of your own success.